There are certain boundaries that I need to set for myself. And I respect and adore so many people, but I gotta do what's best. I wasn't necessarily happy that I made, but I think that I've done my best, at least. I tried to.
We finally know the real story about Selena Gomez. Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin is finally out-tanned. It's not what people thought all these years. To understand how it all played out, let's rewind a bit. Imagine being 25, living the kind of life that looks perfect from the outside. You've been nominated for major awards, started a beauty brand that's already making waves, and starred in successful TV shows. Millions of people admire you. And then, out of nowhere, the person you've shared a long and complicated love story with gets down on one knee and asks you to marry him? For most people, that would feel like the fairy tale ending. But for Selena Gomez, it wasn't the ending. She wanted, and it definitely wasn't the right time. She didn't hesitate. She didn't ask for space or say she needed time to think. Her answer was a direct no. That moment left people with questions for years. Why would she say no to Justin Bieber, a guy she had loved for so long? Was it about Hailey? Did something happen that pushed her away? Or was there something deeper going on behind the scenes? Fast forward to 2025 and we finally got some real answers. Selena went on a podcast and opened up about that moment. Her explanation surprised everyone. It wasn't fueled by drama or anger. It wasn't because she had stopped loving Justin. It was about something else entirely. She was choosing to focus on herself. At that time, she wasn't in a good place emotionally or physically. She had just gone through a major health battle that included a kidney transplant. She was working hard on her mental health, attending therapy, and trying to pick up the pieces of her life. In her words, she said, "Back then, I was starting over. I had been through so much physically and emotionally. I wasn't ready to bring someone else into that. I was only beginning to figure out how to take care of myself." That one sentence stuck with people. She wasn't rejecting love. She was protecting her peace. She still cared about Justin, but this time, she was putting her own needs first. Selena and Justin had once been considered the golden couple. She was the sweet, relatable girl from Disney. He was the pop star from Canada with millions of fans. Together, they looked like the ideal match. People loved watching them go on vacations, share laughs, go out for frozen yogurt. Their moments looked perfect in photos, but reality wasn't so picture perfect. Behind the scenes, Selena was facing a serious illness, lupus, and dealing with anxiety. Justin was struggling too. He had a complicated relationship with fame, often found himself in the headlines for the wrong reasons, and had emotional highs and lows. Both of them were growing up in the spotlight, and trying to hold a relationship together while the world watched wasn't easy. In 2017, after Selena's kidney transplant, Justin came back into her life. Their fans were thrilled. Many believed this was the moment they'd finally get their happy ending. But things didn't go as expected. They reconnected, but it didn't last long. Soon after, people started whispering that Justin had proposed to Selena before marrying Hailey. Some thought it was just a rumor. Others believed it. Old pictures started trending again, and fans tried to find signs of what really happened. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for. On that podcast in 2025, Selena confirmed the rumor. Yes, Justin had proposed. She said she believed he truly thought they were meant to be. But then she quietly added, "I didn't." That short sentence changed how people looked at the entire situation. She didn't sound upset or resentful, just honest and at peace. It wasn't about losing feelings for him. It was about realizing they weren't right for each other anymore. And for the first time, Selena decided that her happiness wasn't going to depend on someone else's idea of love. Things got even more complicated when some fans pointed out that Justin's proposal and later, his marriage might have had more layers to it. Around that time, Justin was reportedly dealing with issues related to his US visa. After marrying Hailey in 2018, he applied for permanent residency. That made people wonder, was marriage just about love, or was there more going on behind closed doors? Selena didn't comment on those specific rumors, but she did say something during the podcast that got people thinking. "I couldn't make a decision that big just because of pressure, fear, or someone else's timing." That said a lot without giving too much away. Maybe Justin was moving fast, but Selena wasn't ready to rush into something just because it seemed right on the surface. And let's be real, almost everyone has been in a situation where they felt pressure to say yes to a relationship, a job, a move. Sometimes everything looks good on the outside, but something inside just doesn't feel right. Selena felt that too, and instead of ignoring her gut, she listened. She chose to take a step back, to say no, even when the world expected her to say yes. When clips of that podcast started circulating on social media, people reacted instantly. TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter were filled with comments. One post said, "She didn't reject him because she didn't love him. She said no because she finally started loving herself." That message hit home with so many people, especially those who've been in toxic or difficult situations and had to learn how to put themselves first. Instead of being seen as heartbroken or stuck in the past, Selena was being celebrated. People saw her as someone who finally knew her worth, someone who had the courage to walk away from something that didn't feel right, even if the entire world was watching. Even Hailey Bieber, who had long been seen as part of the love triangle, quietly liked a tweet that praised Selena's choice. Whether it was an honest show of respect or just good PR, nobody really knows. But it made people wonder if there was more understanding between them than anyone realized. Selena's story started to feel bigger than just a celebrity breakup. It became a story people could relate to. The message was simple but powerful. Just because something looks good from the outside doesn't mean it's good for you. And just because you've loved someone for a long time doesn't mean you're meant to be with them forever. In the same interview, Selena said something else that stuck with her fans. She said, "I didn't want to look back one day and regret not giving myself more time to become someone I could be proud of." That sentence really said everything. She wasn't chasing a fantasy anymore. She was focusing on building a better version of herself. And now, things are different. Selena's doing well. Her makeup brand, Rare Beauty, is one of the top beauty lines out there. She's producing award-winning shows, releasing honest music, and seems more at peace than ever before. She's not just surviving anymore, she's actually thriving. And even more than her success, what really stands out is how calm and content she seems in her personal life. When Selena finally spoke, up in that 2025 podcast, people weren't ready for what she said. It answered a question fans had been carrying for years. Why would she turn down Justin Bieber, the person she had spent so many years loving? Their relationship was the kind that defined a generation. And yet when he asked her the biggest question of all, she didn't hesitate to say no. Everyone had their theories. Maybe it was Hailey. Maybe it was old pain that hadn't healed. Or maybe Selena had just grown beyond who she used to be. But her answer was none of those things. And that's what surprised everyone. When she finally told her side of the story, she didn't sound bitter or angry. There was no drama in her voice, no need to blame anyone. She said she made that decision because, for the first time, she realized she needed to come first. Not Justin, not the relationship herself. She was honest about where she had been emotionally during that time. Life hadn't been easy. She had dealt with serious health problems that left her weak and shaken. The kidney transplant had taken a toll on her body, and even more on her spirit. Therapy became a regular part of her life. Her career was moving forward, but her mental health needed just as much attention. In the middle of that chaos, she said, she was only starting to figure out how to take care of herself. So when Justin proposed, she knew she wasn't ready, not because she didn't care for him, but because she wasn't ready to share her life with someone else when she was still figuring out how to live with herself. She explained it in the most real and raw way. "I had been through so much, my health, my emotions, going to therapy, trying to balance everything. I was finally starting to feel like I had a grip on who I was, and I knew it wouldn't be fair to drag someone into that when I still had work to do on myself." That line stayed with people. It wasn't a story about someone walking away from love, it was a story about someone finally realizing they deserved love that started within, and the strength it takes to say no when everything around you is pushing for a yes. That's what people admired most. Their love story had been idolized for so long. From the outside, it looked like a dream. A Disney princess and a pop star, both famous, both adored. They had pictures traveling together, sharing private moments, laughing on vacations. It seemed like a fairy tale, especially to fans who had followed them since they were teenagers. But behind those public photos were private struggles. Selena had lupus, a disease that doesn't go away and drains your energy without warning. There were days when she couldn't get out of bed, and on top of that, anxiety followed her like a shadow. Meanwhile, Justin had his own battles. He was one of the most famous people in the world, constantly under pressure, and his behavior during those years reflected that. He was lost at times, acting out, trying to find something solid in a world that kept shifting under his feet. They were trying to hold on to each other while also trying to grow into themselves, all while cameras followed their every move. Think about that, going through heartbreak, health issues, or mental breakdowns while the entire world watches, judges, and speculates. That's not normal. That's not easy. In 2017, after Selena had gone through her transplant, Justin came back. It felt like a moment of hope. Maybe this time it would work. Maybe the timing was finally right. Fans got excited. People thought the couple had come full circle. But even though the reunion looked sweet, it didn't last. things fell apart again. That's when the rumors started. People said Justin had proposed before he married Hailey. No one really knew what to believe. The internet ran wild. Some called it fake news. Others swore it was true. Old paparazzi shots came back. Fans started making timelines. And suddenly,